this season with Joe Flacco. They could be coaching for their jobs. Joe Flacco is what you know. It's the stability that you trust. I think this team will be okay. But I still think this team finds itself in a position where they're going to have to figure out who their franchise quarterback is, whether it's this season or next offseason. And Joe Flacco gets you no closer to that and also no closer to winning a Super Bowl, which should ultimately be the goal of this team.
Yeah, so I would have gone with one of the rookies.
We suspected all along. Kevin Stefanski said he was going to name a starter today, and he did. And just like Ocho and I surmised, it's Joe Flacco. The 40-year-old will be making his first week one start since 2022 when he's with the Jets. TBD on the rest of the depth chart. Kenny Pickett has not played since he tweaked that hamstring. Dylan Gabriel got the start on Saturday. SHEDEUR did not play because of an oblique injury. He started the first regular preseason game, and Tyler Snoop Hundley is also on the list. Adam Schefter said this morning, I expect the Cleveland Browns to carry 4 quarterbacks on their 53-man roster. Wow. That doesn't normally happen. It's just, I think they're afraid that if they let one of these guys go, somebody's going to snatch him up. You'd probably like to cut them and then have them come back on the practice squad, but they don't feel they can do that. They feel that if they were to release Gabriel, release Dylan Gabriel or SHEDEUR Sanders, somebody would sign them to their active roster, and you don't want to run that risk. Guy that's been in your program for the better part of 6 months, since the draft. So you don't want to run that risk. Excuse me, guys. But I don't think any of us are surprised that Joe Flacco got named a starter. He didn't play, but the head coach, Kevin Stefanski, did say they're going to treat this as a dress rehearsal of what they might do in week one. So Joe Flacco is going to get the start for the final preseason game, and we'll see how that works out. But I don't think we're surprised. I don't think any of you are surprised that Joe Flacco was named the starter. You look at Kenny Pickett, he has not been able to do any team drills since he tweaked that hamstring early in training camp. Obviously, Dylan Gabriel was nicked the first for about 10, 11 days. Then he came back. SHEDEUR played really well the first game. Then he got an oblique injury. He was out. And then Dylan Gabriel took it over, and then he played fairly well. I mean, he had a pick, but I don't think either guy did anything since. I mean, look, you are where you are. I mean, some people say, well, Dylan Gabriel has played better. I haven't heard anybody say that, but some people like Dylan Gabriel and think what he brings to the table. I was listening to somebody today say Dylan Gabriel has a stronger arm, throws with better anticipation. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that or believe that. It's going to be a very tough decision, but in order for them to carry 4 quarterbacks, that means they're not really sure, and they don't want to make the mistake. Nobody wants to make the mistake and get off one of these quarterbacks, have him go somewhere else and play really, really well when we had him in our fold. So that's what I deduce from that. Cleveland put themselves in a bind by signing Joe Flacco to a 1-year. I think they traded for Kenny Pickett and then selecting 2 quarterbacks, one in the third, one in the fifth, and you find yourself in a situation because none of these quarterbacks really have separated themselves from the rest of the guys. Pickett didn't really get a chance to separate himself because he's been injured for the better part of training camp. And so, I don't know, does he start? I don't think he started on PUP. How is he progressing, Nash? Do we know anything about how he's progressing? Be interesting to see. I don't think you put him on PUP because if you put him on PUP, he's going to put him down for 6 weeks. I don't think it's going to take that much length of time. He'd be out almost 3 months with a hamstring injury. Wow. So we're coming up on a month. Funny that you say that because Justin Jefferson just returned to practice and he was out for 25 days. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But these hamstrings are very, very tricky. You want to err on the side of caution. The last thing you want to do is miss that amount of time, come back and tweak it again because you're probably going to double the amount of time that you're going to miss moving forward. So Cleveland Browns named Joe Flacco as their starting quarterback. They did not give a depth chart after Joe Flacco. Normally it was Kenny Pickett 2, Dylan Gabriel 3, and SHEDEUR Sanders 4. But I guess that's in the next couple of days. We'll find out. We'll see how healthy SHEDEUR is. Is that oblique healed well enough for him to get some action in the final preseason game? We'll see. But Joe Flacco named starter for the Cleveland Browns to start the 2025 season. Titans quarterback Cam Ward got into a scuffle with DT Jeffrey Simmons in camp. Cam Ward and defensive lineman Jeffrey Simmons got into a scuffle on Monday. Ward threw a touchdown pass to Calvin Ridley toward the end of practice and went over to celebrate. The rookie quarterback stopped, gave Simmons a shove before doing the trademark Zombieland celebration in front of him. Simmons reacted with a two-hand shove to Ward's face mask. The offensive lineman came running to help to Ward's defense. I think we kind of had a conversation. We kind of had a conversation about this a couple of days ago. I wish Ocho's connection would get fixed because this is what I wanted to ask him. I think both guys need to be smarter in a situation like this. That's your starting quarterback. You're only going to go as far as he take you, Jeffrey. So you don't want to do anything to hurt that guy. He's the number 1 overall draft pick, and all your hopes and aspirations are pinned on his shoulder. Now, Cam, that's your teammate. I mean, come on. And been a long day at practice. They said this happened towards the end of practice. And anytime like that, guys are frustrated. I didn't want you to score, but you stop and celebrate my face. I'm not feeling too well. That might be the reaction that you get. But normally teammates, I couldn't imagine, to be honest with you. Have John celebrated? Yeah, absolutely. But I couldn't imagine a defensive lineman doing something like that to Seven. I don't remember being on a team where a defensive player would do that to the quarterback, understanding how important the quarterback is to the team's success, especially the starting quarterback, maybe the second or third team, something like that. But the starting quarterback, nah, I can honestly say in my 14 years, I've never been in a situation where I've seen something quite like what's being reported coming out of Tennessee, where the quarterback throws a touchdown pass late in the ball game. He shoves Jeffrey Simmons. I don't know why he shoved Jeffrey Simmons, but if you shove one guy, you should probably expect to shove back. I'm just surprised that he shoved Simmons to begin with. Maybe I shouldn't be as surprised that Simmons shoved him back, because at that point in time, I'm not looking at you as a quarterback. I'm looking at somebody that shoved me, and I'm going to shove you back. Glad nobody got injured. The offensive linemen did what they were supposed to do, run to Cam Ward's defense. That's what's supposed to happen. Somebody attacks your quarterback, you come hell or high water, you defend that guy. Right, wrong, or indifferent, you defend your quarterback. We'll address it and we'll figure it out later. Hey, man, don't do that. Hey, you're too valuable. Don't get into no shoving matches. Don't say anything to those guys. Let them do all that talking. We don't have to worry about that. But I can honestly say I've never seen a situation.